Hello and good morning, everyone. Today is the 25th of March, 2021. It's about 8:30 in the morning. What I'd like to do today is I'd like to spend about 25-30 minutes talking about crypto and then 25-30 minutes talking about the stock market. So I'm going to try and keep a good balance this morning, a good balance between stocks and crypto. But I'm going to, flip the order. I'm going to do 30 minutes of crypto, 30 minutes of stock. So we're going to have about an hour session this morning. I'm going to start by focusing on the high level. As we all know, Bitcoin is what kind of rules everything. If Bitcoin moves, alts are going to move with it. You're going to have some stronger alts, and you're going to have some weaker alts, and that's just the way that it works. So I'm going to start with that when I start the crypto segment, and then as we get into the stocks, I'm going to start with SPY. I'm going to start with the Qs, and then I'm going to take a look and see if there's anything that's really worth buying. The market has been very, I'll use the word cruel for equity holders. It's been very choppy, and it really hasn't been the the best time to be playing equity. I haven't been playing equity a whole lot because it hasn't really been the greatest. We've been taking some, winning on some, losing on probably more than we've been winning. But I'm right in there with you guys as well, and I've been doing this for a while. And it's just the way that it works sometimes. I know you can kind of get discouraged, but it's just the name of the game at times. Okay. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just giving my opinion on the market. Just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and move on into the live scene. I'm going to start with Bitcoin. This is something that really I haven't changed. I've added to it, but really haven't changed the larger count in quite a while. Haven't changed this in a while. We've been kind of molding what's being created here, but ultimately we really haven't changed much. I've had this likely late March to early April forming a bottom. I've had this here since, probably January. It's been a long time since I've had this text on here saying that we would create some kind of a bottom in late March to early April. Back then, my target was about $40,000, and right now we're at $50,000. So does that mean we're going to go down 20%? No, that's not necessarily what that means. There's a couple ways that we can take a look at this. So right now, we've got an A, we've got a B, and then we're moving down for the C. Let me move over to the other side here. I'm going to move over here and I'm going to go to a 4-hour time frame. I just want to point out a couple things here. Oh, it does not look like this has been updated, so let me just clear this off really quick and just go ahead and empty it all out completely. All right, so first off, what I want to point out is this channel, and I think Lilo on the server has already pointed this out as well. So we've got this guy here. All right, so we've got a top here, we've got a top here, we've got a bottom here. So naturally, you would expect there to be potentially another touchdown here at this bottom. Wherever it lands, that's a high probability area for buying. Probability, not certainty, probability. Another way to take a look at this is we can take a look at using our trend-based fib extension tool. We start up here at the top. Let me try and peg that right there, top, and then the bottom right there, and then we move up here to the top. Okay, so we just kind of went through this 618. This 100 would be that next level of support, and that's going to be sitting there at about $45,500. So if we do get down into this area, that's a big if. It wouldn't surprise me if we got down here, but in my opinion, this would be an area for buying. Again, all just my opinion, that would be a good place to be setting some bids. And I'm not talking about longs, I'm just talking about buying spot down in that area. So down at about the 45,000 to 46,000 range. Seems like the best place to be trying to grab with new money. If you're getting your stimulus check, my opinion, I'm not telling you to do this, I'm not pushing the buttons for you, but that would be the next logical place to be looking to be buying. And going back to our other chart, let me flip over to the 30-minute here, And let's go over into this chart where I've got my primary count here. Taking a look at this, A, B, working down for the C, where would that land? Well, it would be like right here. This is a good place. It's a good place from a channel perspective. It's a good place from a measurement perspective as well. Okay, so let me just remove this guy. He's not really relevant anymore. The count is relevant here. The count is good. We had a nice inverted head and shoulders that already played out, and then now we are moving down. And we're still moving down with a little bit of thrust. So, you know, I'm not set on this 123.6 being the bottom. We could be heading down here to this 1618, which is going to be at about 46,000, and then move up a little bit, and then come back down to this 175 at about 45,000. So, one way or another, somewhere down in the mid 40,000 range, between 40 and 50,000, right there, somewhere in the middle, is more than likely where this guy is going to bottom out. And honestly, it's probably going to happen within the next week, and it may actually happen within the next 24 to 48 hours. You know, a lot of people are paying a whole lot of attention to options expirations. Max pain is at 44,000. The problem with that is we have a lot of options that are being opened right now. And yesterday there were a lot of options that were being opened. Maximum pain, it adjusts all the way up until expiration. That's important. Max pain is important, but it's only really relevant the closer you get to expiration. Okay, so you know, I talk about this on the Discord. I see people that are looking at max pain in like April and June. There's not enough open interest to really develop a good sense for what maximum pain is actually going to be. And really, just in case there's anybody that doesn't know what max pain is, you're going to have people that have calls. You're going to have people that have puts, which means calls you want the price to go up, puts you want the price to go down, and options, at least in the stock market, heavily influence the underlying price of the stock. So you've got like Microsoft. You're buying calls and puts in Microsoft. And once you have a large amount of open interest for a specific expiration, then you're going to have an area where the most people are going to lose the most amount of money. That's your maximum pain. So if you've got calls, you've got puts, it is the market makers, it is of their best interest to move the price near wherever that max pain is. Now, it doesn't mean that's going to happen. And crypto is a very, what's the word I want to use? It's a very naive asset compared to a more mature asset such as Microsoft, right? Or the stock market in general. So this doesn't mean that max pain is meaningless. I'm just simply saying that we don't have to go to 44,000 tomorrow. And we may not go to 44,000 tomorrow because people were talking about this max pain. People were talking about this when the price was all the way up here. So you have people that are all the way up here. They're saying, oh, well, max pain is at 44,000. Well, I'm going to get some puts for 50,000. Well, what is that going to do? That's going to raise your max pain higher because all those people that got the $50,000 puts, oh, it's at 40,000 now. That's very interesting. That's very interesting that it's at 40,000 now. So yeah, I'll have to go back and take a look at that. But as we get closer to the end of the day today, I'm very interested in where that's going to be. Tomorrow is going to be a really good sense for where that's going to land. I'm actually quite shocked that it's at 40,000 now. So maybe we do come all the way down here to 44,000. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Ultimately, short term, I'm not bullish. Long term, I'm super bullish. I'm still waiting. You know, I was in a long. I'm trying to think. It was right here on March 23rd. This was what, 2 days ago? 2 days ago, I had a long, and it went really good in my direction. But as I saw it coming down, it came down too far. I got out of that position, luckily, and now we are. You know, we can see where we're at now. So yeah, I still think it's possible this guy goes lower. I want to take a look at some alts just to kind of see if these guys are showing any strength against Bitcoin. We know that Bitcoin currently is trending downward, which means some of the bigger names are probably trending downward as well. Let's take a look at Ethereum versus US dollar. And I'm using the Bitstamp exchange for most of these. So Ethereum, oops. Okay, Ethereum I had coming all the way down here to about $1,200. Now, is that going to happen? We're just going to have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the waves indicator. So the 12-hour is way down there. The 3 hours heading down there. The 1 hour is curling. I would say that it's probably going to make its way at least to about 1450. All right, at least to 1450. That would make a whole lot of sense to find a bounce right there. That's going to be basically at this. Let me see if I can get this all in here. Right here at this 618, that's going to be at 1450. So what that means then is potentially what we could have from that is your A, B, C right here. But I tend to believe that that wave 4 is still waiting to be put in. And more than likely, we're going to get 100% equality. And that's going to take Ethereum all the way down to like $1,200. $1,200 for Ethereum. Would you be afraid to buy Ethereum at $1,200, or is that where you would actually be interested in buying? Now, I'm not saying we're going there, but I'm just saying if we do, are you going to be willing to push the buy button? Think about it. Think about it. Let's take a look at Litecoin, which, by the way, before I go into Litecoin, my upside for Ethereum currently, it's sitting up here at like $4,500. That's my upside target. Yeah, we're in a corrective phase. But guys, I mean, how far down have we gone since we hit our all-time, yes, that was an all-time high on Ethereum. How far down have we gone? What, 23%? At the most, we lost 36%. I mean, this is a healthy correction. If we come all the way down here to this 100, how far did we go? If we come to the 100, we've lost 40% from the top, right? That's significant, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, look at where we have come from. Look at where we have come from. This is not anything that I would see as bearish. Like, yeah, that's a large drawdown, but this doesn't look like a top, right? This doesn't look like a top. If you want to take a look at top, look at Bitcoin back in 2017. You have, and actually you probably see it here in Ethereum going all the way back. And let's find it here, 2018, January 2018, right here. Okay, so right here, this was the previous top in Ethereum, which we're currently trading over, by the way. So what did we see? From the top here, within just a couple days, or actually it was probably within a day, yeah, within a day or two, 46% drop. And then a couple days later, what did we see? We saw another 54% drop, 55% drop. We haven't seen that. So this is why I don't believe the top is in yet. That first drop, okay, keep in mind, this first drop right here, 41%, it was within a few hours, a huge, huge drop. And this was in December, late December of 2017, huge drop, followed by a final rally, then a big drop, a little rally, a big drop. These are signs of a top where you have huge amounts of profit taking. If we take a look at the chart right now, we don't have that. We don't have that. We haven't had huge amounts of drop. Like, you know, we had a nice little flat correction here. Sorry, an expanded flat correction here. Final rally up to get to this 3. But this does not look like the end move. I don't think that we've ended here. So let's take a look at Litecoin. I don't think we have topped out. Let me get Litecoin versus the dollar on Bitstamp. All right, Litecoin. Here's another great example. Okay, I'm going to keep this nice and simple for you guys. We have a top here. We've got a pullback right here. Let me see if I can tag that. There we go. And then we do the pullback. What am I looking at for Litecoin? Right here, I'm looking at about $142. We could come down to $128. But what's my upside for Litecoin? Excuse me. My upside for Litecoin. I'm going to see if I can get an exchange that doesn't have that huge wick there. There we go. Oh, actually, this is perfect. Upside for Litecoin, right up here. First, we've got $300 and $335, $340. We're going to get all the way. We're going to get all the way up there to our prior high, which I think was actually at about $400, if I remember correctly. Let's just take a look. Yeah, our prior high was up there at about 400 bucks. But now, this count, pretty bullish, right? So it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see Litecoin between $550 to $700. And then ultimately, I think we go higher than that. This is still bullish, okay? Crypto is pretty bullish right now. So yeah, we're getting a pullback. Yeah, it's shaking people out. Yeah, it's creating some PTSD from back in 2017, 2018 for those that were around from back then. Everybody's really interested in trying to call a top, and here we are. I mean, Litecoin alone went from like what, $25, $30. We'll just take it from 26.63 up to where it's at right now. Litecoin alone has gone up 550%, and that doesn't include the excess on top of where we've gone. I'm just talking from these lows to where we're at right now. So are we going to get more upside? Yeah, I do think we will. Are we going to get a little more downside in the short term? Yeah, I think we will. Question is, where are you going to be willing to buy and just hold out the storm? Well, we look for our high probability trade setups, which is why, going back to the hourly, which is why we have things such as our waves indicator. And right now, waves is calling for a bounce on Litecoin. Like, from a technical analysis perspective, I do not think Litecoin has bottomed. But from the waves perspective, I do think we get a bounce. I do think we get a bounce. And it would make a whole lot of sense because we're right here at the 618. We kind of extended a little bit, but my longer term buys on Litecoin aren't going to be until we get down here at about 142. 142. So, watch the waves, wait for the bounce. Ideally, the 12-hour, the hourly, and the 3-hour, they're all going to be down here and oversold at the same time. And the market has not been favorable because we've been in this corrective mode, but the technical analysis is going to tell us that we need to be watching right here. We need to be watching right here. The other thing that we can take a look at from this guy, okay, so we're going to pull up here to the top. We're going to get the top there, and we're going to do the pullback from here. Okay. So coming straight down here, I mean, if we tap this bottom of this channel, that again would be ideal. It's going to be at about 140, depending on when it happens. I mean, it's very possible this could happen very quickly, and you probably won't have a whole lot of opportunity to buy on a big drop like this. All right, let's take a look at a couple others. I'm going to take a look at Cardano. Let's take a look at Cardano versus Tether. Okay. All right, so on this guy, honestly, Cardano has been pretty strong compared to most. We haven't come back down to $1 yet. It's been holding pretty strong above $1. It hasn't seen as significant of a pullback, but there's just one thing here that I do want to point out as we go through this. Let me see if I can do this way. All right, so first off, we have from this top here to this top here, and then we've got this guy right there, this high right here, this high right here. All right, so if you can't see it, basically what we're doing, let me fix this, we're creating a little bit of, we've got a steep drop, and then the drop gets not as steep, so we have a little bit of a lower slope. It looks like a curl that we're creating here, okay? So what we need to do is we need to start seeing us creating higher highs, all right? We need to see a higher high in order really for Cardano to see higher prices. Like right now, it doesn't look the greatest. it actually looks like we might be accelerating. Okay, it looks like we might be accelerating, but if we can start creating higher highs, well, then I think things start to turn around. But for right now, I don't see Cardano in a good place to be buying. The hourly is curling down. The 12-hour is down there. There's no doubt about it. But that's not what we're going to be trading off of. Unless the 12-hour curls up, right? And let's just look at the last time the 12-hour curled up. It was right here. The 12-hour curled up right here. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a bright green candle right here. So let me see if I can zoom in right there so we can see there. You can see it right there. On my waves indicator, when you see this bright green candle, that means that the 12-hour has crossed upward. So that 12-hour crossed upward right here. And we can see what happened after that. Now, we weren't in a great condition for buying based on the 12-hour, but the 1-hour and the 3-hour were down here. And so if the 12-hour curls, well, then we're in good shape. But right now, the hourly isn't down there, the 3-hour isn't down there, but the 12-hour is. So if that 12-hour does curl upward, then I would also feel a little more confident that we have created a little bit of a bottom. Okay. Morning, Todd. Good morning, Kyle, Aaron. Good to see you guys on here this morning. So for right now, I would say stay away from Cardano. Let's take a look at some others. Lumens. Just check my time. I've got 8 more minutes on the crypto section here. So Lumens, yeah, I mean, Lumens printed a buy here. That would have gotten stopped out. No doubt about that. So again, the 12-hour is down there. The 3-hour is getting there. The hourly looks like it wants to move down. So I would say for Lumens, we're probably going to get a pullback. This P&L is from a while ago. So let's just measure it, see where we're going to go. And I'm just going to do this the hard way. There we go. About right there. I'm just going to approximate. I like to make it as exact as possible. So for Lumens, it looks like it wants to come back down to about 25 cents. Somewhere down here. I'm going to remove this P&L because this is old. Potentially down here to 25 cents. We've got a channel, and actually the 618 is sitting here. So if by March 28th we're only at about 31 cents, it's possible that we just created a double bottom, right? So we've got a bottom here, move up, and then we've got another bottom right here. So it's possible that Lumens could be a little bit stronger, maybe not come all the way down here, potentially right here at 31 cents. If we hit this bottom rail, I would feel a little more confident with this. And this channel, again, has been here. Here's a touch here, here's a touch here, here's your top here, almost hit the top there. It would make a whole lot of sense for us to hit this. Let's expand to the other direction and see what we've got. So let's put the negative 0.5. Do I have it on here? I don't have. There it is, negative 0.5. All right, that's going to be this guy right here. So we would be looking out a little ways into mid-April, and I don't see that as a possibility. I don't see that as a possibility right now. So it looks more and more likely that Lumens is probably going to bottom out at about 30 to 31 cents. Once we hit this bottom rail, I think this is more than likely where Lumens will bottom out. And that's going to be on the 28th of March, which is 3 days from now. So it's that Sunday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, somewhere around that range. If we hit this bottom rail, I would say that we should be looking to buy. I'm going to set an alert right there at 31.1 cents. All right, so we're going to have that alert on there. We're going to be watching it because that's where I think Lumens is probably going to bottom. Let's take a look at ALICE. Fairly new. Let's see if we can put any kind of analysis on this. Let's ignore that wick. I'm going to go to a 30-minute time frame. Reduce myself a little bit here. And let's go ahead and see if we can, there we go. And we'll do this. ALICE on the 30-minute looks okay. Let's see here. Get this. We're going to ignore that first candle though. Okay, the 12-hour is curling up. We can see that really easily based on that. Let me go to an hourly for just a moment. The hourly, yeah, actually, ALICE is looking okay. ALICE is looking all right. And it's a newer asset, so liquidity is not going to be the greatest. I would say if Alice comes down to about 950, so it needs to go down about another dollar. I would say that's going to be a great place to be buying. So that's off of the very, very limited history that Alice has, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it. I would say a move down to about 950. If it breaks through 950, I would get out because it's going to probably be going down here to about $6. First attempt, 950. If it goes against you, get out and start looking for $6 because that is potentially where the next stop is going to be. I'm not certain if there's a way to short Alice. My guess is there might be on Binance, but if it breaks through 950, I would say short it to 6, and then reevaluate at $6. But for right now, again on the hourly time frame, the 1 hour is curling down. It's in oversold, but it's not down there. The 3 hour is still pretty wide open, moving itself down here, and it's in oversold, and the 12 hour is also in oversold. To be fair, this 12 hour from the entire history that we've got has been oversold the entire time, and it is just now showing signs of life. Okay, like yeah, we had a big move up, but it looks like it wants to continue moving down just a little bit more before it sees another rally up. And when this one rallies, it'll probably rally pretty significantly because it's a new asset. So if we can get a bottom on this, again, we're looking at that 950 level. But also keeping in mind that 12 hour is starting to curl. It's not confirmed. How much time do we have on that 12 hour candle? We're not even an hour into this 12 hour candle, you guys. So we have 11 hours for this thing to resolve and actually make up its mind on what it wants to do. So is it currently green? Yes, on that 12 hour, but we have the better part of a half a day to really resolve this. Okay, let's go ahead, since it is almost 9 o'clock, let me go ahead and pivot into the stock market. For the better part of 2020, and you know, the stock market really didn't do anything but go up. That's all the stock market was doing, was going up. What do we have going on right now? Well, right here, we've been talking about this. It looked very much like this is what was going on. And I know I've got a lot of garbage here on this chart, but let me just show you what's going on. All of this garbage that I have on here, it makes sense. So first off, let me just talk about this from this bottom here. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, little 4, and then we go down here for this 5. I didn't expect this 5 to hit until next week, but it's looking more and more likely that actually the 28th, that would, yeah, that's still Sunday. It looks more and more likely that it's going to hit soon. This trend line that I've got right here looks like this is where we want to go, which is going to be at about 38.40 to 38.45. Right now we're at 38.63. 38.63. Bet you didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect it to happen this fast. So, what do we have? I've got this fib pull. Actually, let me just, gosh, all of this is important. I'm really struggling on how much I want to actually remove here. I don't want to remove anything at this point in time because it's all important. We're going to take a look at this from this last move down. All right, so we've got this drawdown, and that's where this fib pull is coming from right here. Okay, I'm just going to wiggle it so you can see this fib pull right here. Let's just take a look at this. We're measuring from the top to the bottom. We're getting the pullback. We got a pullback to the 618. Okay, some of your highest probability trades are buying or selling the 618 and closing it out at the negative 236, which is right here. In this case, it's at 38.51, 38.50. We're almost there. We're almost there. I was foolish and I closed out my SPXU yesterday. I closed it out too early, and I'm willing to admit that. But I kept my SQQQ, so we kept that. So from here, we have a little bit more downside. I really don't think we have a whole lot more. All right, because I believe this is our 3. This is our 4, and then we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here to finish this move off at this 5. So let me fix this guy right there. And then we come down here to finish up the 5. And it could be that it happens today. This wave 5 right here, this wave 2 right here. Is it going to come all the way down here to the 618 at 38.17? I've got my eyes on it, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to go that low. And I mean, maybe we do. Maybe we do. But ultimately, I'm interested in closing my short position right down here. I'm interested in closing it right here, because we've got a really good move. Okay, so we talked about this guy at the 618 down here to the negative 236. Let me close or remove that, because I think we can remove that guy. So the next thing to pay attention to is this one right here. I'm going to move it around so you can see it. Okay, what this is doing, this is measuring this 1, 2. All right, measuring this 1, 2. And if I've got people watching this video that are part of the Discord, you all know what our target is for wave 3, and you're probably looking at it right now. And we hit it. Okay, we hit that target for the wave 3. And then we did a little bit of a pullback for wave 4, and then what's our target for the wave 5 in a strong trend? Right here at this 2618. And that's sitting right there at 38.43. The 50% move off of this larger move up from the bottom, right? So that's measuring from this bottom to this top. You've got the 50% right there. That's another great target for a wave 2 pullback. Right there at 38.47. And it makes a whole lot of sense that negative 236 is also sitting right there. We just looked at that. We just removed it from the chart. There's so much confluence right here that this is, I mean, you've got to try and buy right here in this range. If it gets down there, I mean, what's your risk to reward? All right, if we come all the way down here to 38.43, I mean, shoot, you've got what, 0.7% risk? 0.7% risk. That's if you bought SPY. Right, so you're talking about like 2.5% risk if you were to buy SPXL or one of those bull tokens. And then you've got to move up here to 4,041. That's a 5% trade for a 0.7% risk. That's 7.46 to 1 ratio. That's a trade I'd be willing to take, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. And I would imagine a lot of people are probably getting shaken out of the market because for a number of reasons. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I'm willing to try down here. Are you willing to try? I'm willing to try and stop out once we get past this 0.618. Going to the hourly, let's just take a look at the waves. Let's take a look at the waves on the ES market, right? You've got the 12-hour, which it's not really quite the 12-hour because this isn't a 24-hour asset. It's close, but not quite. But it's down here. You've got the 3-hour down here. You've got the hourly moving down here. If we get that pushed down, that hourly is going to get down there. This is going to be a good opportunity, in my opinion. It's going to be a good opportunity. When was the last time this 12-hour was this low? Let's just take a look here. All right, I'm going to hide the 1-hour and the 3-hour. I'm just going to keep the 12-hour on there. When was the last time the 12-hour was this low? All right, this did not cross into the bearish territory. This did not cross into the bearish territory. When was the last time we were this low? This low. When was the last time we got this low? Here it is, right here. In October of 2020, and that was after 2 months of just awful market conditions. Awful market conditions for these whole 2 months. It was bad. That was the last time we were this low. And then what happened? Okay. Now, history doesn't always mean that that's what's going to happen in the future, but we can learn some lessons based off of it. Are we going to create a bottom here? I don't have any amount of certainty to say, but I have my probability that shows how we can create a bottom here. Larger question is is that going to be what happens? We're just going to have to wait and see. So that's the ES market. Let's take a look at NQ. I'm going to have to make a change to my NQ chart, more than likely. Yes. So I was talking yesterday about adjusting my theory for NASDAQ to come down to the 618. And this guy looks like he is really close. I'm going to remove my time-based analysis here. And what it looks like, we're in the middle of creating from the top A, B, C, A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming down here into wave 2. Are we going to, let's just take a look. I'm going to remove these guys for right now. The upside targets are still remaining the same. It's just this pullback. That's what's really is different right now. So again, I'm going to measure from the top to the bottom. I'm looking at this bottom right here. I'm just putting it off to the side, and then we're doing this pullback. All right. You've got the 100 right on the other side of the 618. So we're still in SQQQ. Where am I going to close it? Well, I'm going to close it at the 618. And again, taking a look, how far am I going to let this guy go? Am I going to let it go 1.42%? It's possible what my strategy might be for this. My strategy may be to keep the SQQQ and buy TQQQ here and wait for one of the two to get stopped out. That might be what I do to just hedge my position and let one of them lose. So looking at this 12-hour, it's not down there. It's not down there far enough. Let's take a look at the 3-hour and the 1-hour. All right, the 3-hour and the 1-hour are down here. The 1-hour looks like it wants to come down. So, you know, this guy may actually come down a little bit deeper. So he may actually come all the way down here to the 786. NASDAQ has historically been weaker than the S&P 500. It's been like that for a couple months now. So is NASDAQ going to find itself going a little bit deeper? I mean, it's very, very possible. So I'm being cautious. It's one of the reasons why I kept my bear asset on QQQ, because it has been weaker compared to the S&P. That's why I closed out my bear asset on SPY, because SPY has been stronger than the NASDAQ has. So that was my reasoning behind that, in case anybody was curious why I made that decision yesterday. I think it was yesterday. At any rate, we've got good confluence there at the 618. You've got the 100 also down here as well. At a minimum, you're probably going to get a bounce. At a minimum, we're probably going to get a bounce. It would make a whole lot of sense for there to be a bounce there. But ultimately, over time, I think we're probably going to move ourselves down here to the 786 based on what I see. Doesn't mean it has to happen. Right? Definitely doesn't mean it has to happen. I'd love for it to stop here at the 618 and then just move on up from there. That's what I'd like to see. We really need to see tech start to really shine. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more things here. I want to take a look at Google. Take a look at Google, and I haven't looked at this much, but it has been showing some strength, and I'm pretty bullish on Google. I'm going to look at this from a daily time frame. Okay. Take a look at Google from the split back here in 2015. It's been doing nothing but trending up. Obviously, we had the same thing in 2020 that all the other stocks had. We had this big pullback. It looks like it finished a correction. So off of that correction, what do we have? We have, let's go ahead and count this really quick. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, 4, 5. I believe that's a 1, and then we go down for the 2. So from the bottom, 1, 2. And then let's talk about 3, 4, 5. Right? We're going to put that on a higher degree. Where is Google going to go? And I believe tech is going to basically follow what Google is going to be doing. You're probably going to think I'm nuts. 1, 2. All right. So Google is currently at $2,000. Do I think that Google can go all the way up to about $3,300 to $3,500? I think it can. It could take a while. It could take a year. It could take longer. But that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for that. I'm going to be looking for a move up to over $3,000, potentially $3,500. Right now, Google is at $2,000. So really, it's not a huge gain from where we're at right now. That's not even 100%. We're talking about 66%. It's not a big gain. But this consolidation up here at the highs, it's very, very bullish. Very bullish for me. We've been consolidating up here since February 3rd. We've had a long degree of consolidation up here, so when it finally does push up and out or push down, it's going to be a significant move. The longer you sit consolidating, I'll show you a really great example here in a minute, but the longer you spend consolidating, the more power is behind the move out of that trend. So that's what I see for Google. Yes, I will take a look at XLE before I'm done. So let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla. Let's just talk about consolidation for a long period of time. Tesla was consolidating in this range right here. There we go. Tesla was consolidating in that range for how long? Let's just measure it. Approximately 2,135 days. That is a long, long time. Okay? 2,135 days. What happened? We had a strong move up. We had a pullback, retesting it. And then it ripped. How far did it rip from the retest? It ripped 1,000%. 1,000%. So the longer you spend consolidating in a range, the stronger the movement is going to be. Okay? 2,135 days is a long time to be staying inside of a range, I'm estimating. It's probably a little less than that, if we're being honest. But one way or another, we had a strong move up and out. Now, Tesla has come down significantly since we hit this top up here at about $900. Adjusted from the pre-split price, that's like $4,500. And now we're sitting at $611. That's basically $3,000. So we've come down significantly. I'm just trying to adjust for the pre-split prices. It's come down significantly, but still at a minimum, the lesson here is the longer you spend consolidating in a range, the stronger that move is going to be when you exit that range. So right now, we have Google that's been trending in this range since, what was that? February 3rd? We've been trading inside of this range. So if and when this guy finally does break out of here, more than likely it's going to be up, but you really should wait for confirmation. But what's going to happen, you've got two things that are going to happen. Oops, I need my brush. You're going to get a strong move up, a retest, and then a stronger move up, or you're going to get a strong move down, a retest, and then a stronger move down. Those are the two scenarios, but there's a way to trade this, and it's based off of the retest. The retest is the best bet. If you don't get the retest, you don't get the retest. But that's the best way to play it. That's exactly what happened with Tesla. Let's look at XLE. All right, energy. All right, so we've been watching this, and I've got this chart, which actually, we almost hit that 100 at 55.31. I'm going to put that C up there. Nice little expanded flat, and it's possible that this A is right here. We have the A, B, C. This would make a little bit more sense here. But what this looks like, yeah, I like this A, B, C as an expanded flat here. It really works, I think. Let's just go ahead and measure it just to see how well this works. So from up here, do the pullback, and then the push up. Yeah, we got down here to the 100, almost to the 123.6. I feel like that works pretty well. that works pretty well, and the amount of time it took to correct this works better for me than this little move here. So I like this 5, 3. Then do we have 5 waves up? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we do. So potentially XLE is done, and we're going to be correcting here for a while. I'm going to go down to the hourly for a moment, and let's just take a look at what the hourly shows. Oh boy. So the hourly here, so if that C is done, the hourly looks like it wants to move down. It looks like we are overbought. They just had dividends, which is what caused this drop, 52 cent in dividends right here, and that's what caused this drop here. Then we've filled that gap, and we still have a gap up here, but I'm not really concerned about trading gaps. I'm just pointing it out. And then we're gapping down into today. So we ended at 49.05 yesterday. We're now down like what 80 cents or so, 80 cents from where we closed. This hourly does look like it wants to pull back, but the daily, because again the red wave in stocks is daily, I still think that we have a little bit further down to go. Yeah, JC, there's somebody, there's a trader out there that has 18% of their entire account in Google options. Makes a whole lot of sense because it is getting ready to have a significant move in one direction. But the problem is, here's the problem. Tesla was in a range for 2,100 days, 2,100 days. How many years is that? Okay. Options don't go far out enough to accommodate for that much sideways movement. But now, Google's only been in this range for about 2 months, a little less than that. So yeah, I mean, you could get decent options, and there are ways that you can reduce the cost of these options by doing spreads, verticals, iron condors, whatever it may be. There's a lot of different opportunities to trade sideways action. And Google, again, has been trading sideways. There's my phone hearing me say that. Let me close that out. Anyway, it's been moving sideways for about a month, 2 months now, and we don't know how much longer it's going to be sitting moving sideways. It may sit here for another 4 or 5 months. We don't know that. But what I do know is when it does move, it's going to be a significant move. I don't know that I would bet 18% of my account on one asset. I usually don't do that. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. But at any rate, I actually think Google looks okay. I think it probably will see more significant upside in the future. Let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft is another guy that has been, I mean, pretty strong here recently. It broke out of this trend, right? So we were watching this trend for a while, and let's see, more than likely we had this. I'm not sure why I've got this guy all the way down here. Let's just fix him really quick. All right, so, and actually it's not really a channel at all. If anything, that was a, here, let's just do it this way. All right, get that guy right over here. And then we've got this guy right here. All right, so basically off of this guy, we have this wedge. It's pretty clean now. We have this A, B. You know what? I really don't like the way that it looks. I don't like the way that this looks. Yeah. I don't know. The symmetry doesn't work. The symmetry doesn't work for this. So I'm not going to call this a wedge after all. But what I can say is we broke out of this trend line and we're currently trading above it. Are we going to get a retest of it? I mean, I doubt it. But our upside target's still going to be sitting there at about 265. 265 for the upside target. Right now, Microsoft is actually up in pre-market. It's been pretty strong. It's been pretty strong. Microsoft paid dividends, and then basically a day later it dropped. And it's, came back, it filled that gap, just like some of the others that we've been talking about, filled that gap. But Microsoft, in my opinion, is stronger than a lot of other assets out there. which is why I do hold Microsoft more long term. I also hold AT&T long term. I've been holding AT&T for a while now, still in profit from where I was at, but now I'm going to be collecting dividends on it. And so, historically speaking, I never was a dividend trader, but as you develop, we'll call it a bankroll, we'll call it, profit money. I've started putting that inside of assets that pay dividends. And so that's what I'm doing with AT&T, and that is probably what I'm going to continue to do with Microsoft as well. So those two assets more than likely are what I'm going to be using as dividend assets for the time being. I may reevaluate, but if you can get a dividend asset at a good rate on a good dip, if you were sitting here in March of 2020 watching the big drop, you were looking to potentially get into some dividend assets, or maybe SPYD, which is the high dividend SPY asset from the S&P, I would just continue holding those. And actually, I haven't taken a look at SPYD for a while. I bought it at $22 back in 2020. Where are we at right now? 37 bucks. Not bad. Not bad. That's actually up like 50% from where I originally bought it. So that was all the way back here. It was at $22 that I bought SPYD, and I sold it. In hindsight, I probably should have kept it, because 40 cents per dividend, 37 cents, 26 cents, 61 cents, 64 cents. The dividends are on the increase. Dividends are on the rise. Should have kept that asset. So that's basically the portfolio here are just S&P assets that pay high dividends. That's all it is, and they rebalance every so often. But it's a good way to do that. And if you consider, you may look at this and you may say, oh, that's only 37 cents. The sucker only cost you 27 bucks. Okay, so $27, 37 cents, you're already reducing your cost. And in just over the last 4 dividend periods, you've knocked, $1.50, so 60, let's see here, $1.25, $1.50, 51. $1.51, $1.58, $1.88. So you're knocking almost $2 off of your price. So really, if you bought down here 27, it really only cost you 25. But not only did it just cost you 25, but it's now worth 37. So I mean, you've got significant profit. And holding that for a longer period of time can work to your advantage. But is right now a good place to buy it? I'd say no. I'd say no. That daily looks like it wants to pull back. The hourly looks like it wants to pull back. So I would say no, probably not. And it just got done paying a 64% dividend. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard charting this one, because it is an ETF that is made up of a lot of different stocks, and it rebalances every so often. So therefore, I'm not going to give a whole lot of weight to the chart, but nonetheless, getting this guy at 22 bucks, I mean, I'm a fool for selling it, but that's a strategy that you can take for longer term positions. All right. I think I'm losing you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and drop now. We've been going for about 53 minutes here. If this video did help in any way, shape, or form, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description. We'd love to have you there. And of course, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good